All right. Howdy. What's going on? We're live. Hotboxpodcast.com/live. You can watch these shows every week. Talk about the latest marijuana news, culture, all that fun stuff. So definitely check it out. Hotboxpodcast.com. And then these always, of course, get released after the fact as a podcast. So today we got a cool show. We're going to be talking to Kenya Brantley from Herb Boxx, HERBBOXX.com. He's in Texas, and they make some pretty cool weed stash boxes for medical, recreational, whatever. It doesn't even probably have to be weed. You put whatever you want in it as long as it fits. So here's what they look like. This is the small one. Of course, here's the big one. Big one's got some stuff in it. But yeah, we'll check it out here and talk about what's going on in Texas since he's from there, and some other stuff happening in the news, including how synthetic marijuana deaths just keep going up. That is no bueno. So sit back, relax, blaze one. I got mine right here. That's right, courtesy the weed from Growers Outlet, some new Jack Herrera, stuffstonerslike.com. Definitely check it out. I'll have the full review of that up there sometime soon. Enjoy the show.
On the seventh day,
the terrors of tripping on top.
Be there! Scour the spaceways! Explore vast alien worlds! Tin right here contains the whole
I
rigmarole.
used to smoke about an ounce of hash every day, and it made me go a little bonkers.
Maybe if I occupy his mind with more duties, I can control his space.
Hi, big fat doobies. Hi.
Hi. What's up, everybody? Today's Friday, June 12th, 2015. This is episode 157 of the Hot Box. My name's Matt. Welcome. Hotboxpodcast.com. That's the site. Definitely check it out. Today on the show, we got Kenya Brantley from herbboxx.com, HERBBOXX.com. He's based down there in Texas. He makes a lot of cool boxes here as we'll show you. First off, I want to mention, check out some weed reviews, stuffstonerslike.com. The latest ones, we got the Ace of Spades, grown by Forbidden Farms. It's a Ace of Spades number 5. Very, very nice. So check that one out. Got an OG Kush review as well as a lavender. And all of these are top shelf recreational cannabis that I'm finding at Growers Outlet and at Mr. Doobies. So definitely check those out, stuffstonerslike.com. I'll put links to all that in the show notes at hotboxpodcast.com. So without further ado, let's get Kenya on the phone here, and we'll talk about her box. Very exciting.
Oh,
Kenya, you're live on the Hot Box, man. How you doing?
hey, what's happening? What's going on, man? I truly appreciate it, man. And what's happening, world?
It's good to have you. Good to have you, definitely. Everyone, as they might know, I just mentioned you can find these awesome boxes you've made over at herbboxx.com, HERBBOXX.com. You're down there in Texas. How did you get started with all this, like wanting to be in the cannabis business of sorts?
Man, well, you know, like me and you talk, man, it's really a timeline to this. And I took it all the way back to 92, man, you know, Dr. Dre, the Chronic album. And once that hit, you know what I mean, for those who, I'm a big hip hop fan, and those who know my man over here, y'all host, he kind of, you go hard. I like that song, man. You went hard in the paint on it. I was digging it.
Hell yeah. Just a little hobby, but yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. But with that being said, like started with that. So I mean, you know, smoking weed and just being around, and as you mature and get old, you know, went to college, and after going to college and graduating, you know, I still smoked and whatnot, but I just wasn't, you know, stepping up my game for as how to keep the weeds, you know. And then once the, you know, I don't want to say this boom, because we've been here. It's just that the squares are just not catching up to us. And I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna get a part of this, and I thought, okay, what can I do? You know, what can I do to improve this community? And when I say the community, the cannabis community, and uplift, take away the stereotypes. So here I am, you know, I'm a father, a taxpayer. I have my master's degree, and so I was like, what's the best way? And I was saying, hey, we need a box. We need to elevate. You know, if you still keeping your box in your Jordan shoe box, or you know what I'm saying, the Crown Royal bag or whatever.
Right.
Nah, I wanted something fly. I wanted something nice, and you know, I decided, and even being down here in Texas, you know, I'm from Dallas, and you know, I love Texas. That's where I'm from, but you know, it's going to get a time that I'm going to have to make the move. Like you made the move from Montana to Washington.
Yep.
It's going to be the time that I'm going to have to make the move. You know, it's pretty conservative here.
And things are slowly starting to happen. We'll kind of talk about that after we go into more of the box. I do find it interesting you said that about the marijuana boom, and it's really not a boom because we have been here this whole time. We were just on the down low because we could be, you know, run through the system, and you can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Like there's nothing worse than getting run through the system for something that is absolutely doing zero harm. Like it's a ridiculous thing. So when you say boom, like, yeah, we've always been here. It's just now we're happy to pay some tax money on all of this money we've been spending, you know, legitimately.
Yeah, exactly. And especially being you know, I don't want to get too deep on the podcast, but being African-American male, you know, a lot of times you'll get the cops jam you up. You know, you might have nothing but a roach, you know what I'm saying? And they'll run you. They'll run you for that, you know, just little bitty stuff.
Well, that's exactly what I was referring.
I'm not saying all cops are bad, and I'm not trying to be on here on no I hate the cops type of thing, but I've been harassed over little bitty stuff, and you know, I'm glad they see that that's a waste of paperwork and more work for them for a half a gram.
Oh,
you know
it is.
I mean?
It's ridiculous, and it's completely clear, and it's becoming more clear to like the masses, you know, that this was just a tool of political agenda. It had absolutely nothing to do with the plant itself. And I mean, you hit it right on the head. If you look at the stats, as an African American, you are far more likely to get run through the system than just some middle-aged white kid. It's sad, it's disgusting, but that's the reality of the situation. And it's becoming different slowly, but you know, it's definitely going to still be some time before everything is completely okay. We don't have to worry.
Yeah, but we're raising the bar on that, though, man. I mean, we're raising the bar, and that's what it's about. And Herb Boxx is here to raise the bar. So even for the urban, you know, professional, and you know what I'm saying, and the stiletto stoner, we're raising the bar. So it's about the stereotypes, because you're going to put with the stereotypes, and we want to move away from that whole Cheech and Chong look. I no disrespect to Cheech and Chong, you know, dudes relay, you know, paved the way, but you know, now there's something we got more class and elegance that we want to come with, and so this is going to help all this, and this is what's going to help change those laws and change the whole outlook on it. And like, this is a truly, like you said, we've been here. This community has been here, so now it's the light and the shine is on us, because they're waiting to see, okay, they're going to mess up.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody going nowhere. We've been doing this. We taxpayers, we're going, every regulation, everything you want us to jump through, we're going to do it.
And that's the crazy thing, like, that, you know, that they structured this in a way because they're taking bets. They're like, all right, let's let them do it, but let's put a bunch of like ridiculous stipulations on it. They're stoners. They're going to completely F this up. And you know what? It's interesting to watch stoners follow politics now a little more closely because of it. And there's a lot of places, I speak of Montana specifically, where they're these people running unopposed. And they had been running unopposed for such a long time and just being corrupt and running their little county like they wanted to. As soon as people started paying attention to the cannabis movement, they got into politics, and all of a sudden, all these unopposed runners are having some competition. And it's competition that's like my friends and your friends, and like real people that are completely educated on what this plant is and what its potential is. And it's kind of like part of it backfired, but then there's another part as far as the legitimate industry having to jump through all of these hoops and making it specifically difficult to do so that, yeah, a bunch of people will mess up, and the ones that don't, you know, their game is on point and they will continue to elevate. It sucks that that's how it has to be. In any other industry, you just let the market sort itself out, right? If you have too many weed growers, the best ones are going to come to the top and the rest will go find something else to do. But they're not letting that happen. They're like, well, you can have this many per county and this many per populace or whatever. It is ridiculous. But if you're watching live, hotboxpodcast.com/live, here's what one of the boxes look like. This is the larger of the two. And you can find these on herbboxx.com, HERBBOXX. And I appreciate the psychology of it because, you know, how you feel, how you perceive things has a huge role to play in how you live. And if you're getting, like you said, your weed out of a Nike shoebox every day, like it has that feel to it, right? It has that mentality. If you come home and you open up one of these, and you guys can see here on the camera, like that looks nice, it feels nice, it's elegant, it's classy, and that will, you know, start to have a change in your day-to-day psyche. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, plus fellas, I mean, you know, I'm an old, I don't know who all listen to the show to do. I mean, we crossed the line, but you know, the days of 4 and 5 fellas sitting around smoking on one blunt or something. Now, I'm not about having no sausage party. Now, if you're still doing that, you know,
I read your articles.
You know, you need to have a nice lady there, and the lady don't want to have you all sitting around and, you know, you pulling something out of your shoebox, you know, or having somebody pulling out, you know, your drawer. I seen one dude one time pulling, you know, some weed out of a Altoid, the little tin can. I was like, nah, I'm good now.
You know that weed had a minty taste and a minty smell forever after that. You know that weed tasted weird.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So it's time for guys to kind of, you know, step your game up. And then for the ladies, you know, and we really dissing the ladies because we got a lot of ladies that's out there smoking, you know, and they want something nice. They don't want to roll up no blunts, you know. I mean, now you have the vapors and the daps and concentrates. I mean, there's so much stuff out there, and you know, you can just be casual. You know, you don't have to ride around and camouflage and all that. Nah, just sit at the house on your porch. You know, doing what I'm doing now, chilling on the podcast.
Exactly. I like those. I like those articles. If you go to herbboxx.com and then click on the blog link, you have some articles up there, and that one of them that sounds familiar about, you know, this isn't how we're smoking anymore. We're not driving around the car hotboxing it. We're not sitting in our rooms. You know, we're going to gatherings where there's people and we're sitting out there and passing, you know, pipes and nice, beautiful glass. You don't want to pull it out of something weird like your sock. You just pull it out of one of these boxes.
I mean, like, you know, your great state that you are in, Washington, man. It's a beautiful state. So, you know, you want to be able to go somewhere and relax. You got the water there. You got the nice climate. I mean, get out and enjoy and, you know, step your game up, man. Go check out Herb Boxx and, you know, get yourself some class about yourself. Because I've been, we got to make this community because all eyes is on us. So we can dictate where we want to go and how we want to do this, and we want to do it with some dignity. I mean, because we're not going nowhere, you know. And as you can see, I'm an old gentleman. I can tell you, I'm 47. I still take some of you young boys to the yard. You know what I'm saying? And I'm, you know, trying to teach you, man, step your game up. And so this is what Herb Boxx is about. This is what this podcast is about, man, because we need this type of, and I appreciate you, man, for having this type of outlet to get the information out to a lot of people and whatnot, man. And I appreciate the support, truly do.
It's cool. I've been using the larger one and just I've been doing weed reviews here locally for some recreational shops, and sure. I put the excuse me, put the weed in there, and like every time I go to do a review, I open the box and the box like sits on itself, so it displays, and it's very beautiful. I definitely like it. Let's talk about the box itself. Now, how did you go about making it? Like, tell us about your thought process.
Yeah, man. Reason, well, I ran into a lot of snags. I got a lot of doors closed in my face. You know, I went to a lot of manufacturers. You know, and I you know, a lot of me here in Texas, you know, really gave me. I got 2 strikes against me. One, I'm in this conservative state. You know, I'm a liberal, and two, you know, African American. I'm public enemy number one. So, but that's not going to stop me. But nevertheless, I got with finally a good group, manufacturing group, man. They call themselves Artifactors instead of Manufacturers, Artifactors, right here in Dallas. And we've been working together. And I'm making these by hand now. I use a laser cutting system, an MDF board, and the MDF board I just got a hold of a guy in Canada that my boxes is made out of hemp, the real hemp fiber, MDF. And I had an order just come down, and can you believe that I had customs shaking me down, wanting more money for my box? So I got Canada shaking me down, and in the U.S.
because it was hemp,
having me giving a whole lot of paperwork just to get the MDF hemp fiber board. So if we got anybody there in Canada, man, please reach out to me, man. And you know, I'm trying to see what I can do if I can just go down there and bring it. But yeah, they really giving me the hassle, but that's okay, you know, because most of your boxes, container boxes, are made out of cedar. And hey, I'm not trying to kill the environment by cutting a lot of trees. You know, I'm just using the same plant that I'm holding it in. So it's really good, man. So y'all jump behind it, man, and really support it because you know it's going to grow.
It's cool. I think you should actually look into either Colorado or Washington. There's a ton of grows there that would probably be more than happy to donate stems, like giant stems that you could then process to use. I'm sure that whole process would be expensive. And if you could just get hemp sent to you, that would be much easier. But the customs had a problem because it was hemp. Like if I ordered a hemp sweatshirt from them, like
yourself. So now we're having to cut them down, meaning because you keep making an order and they keep shipping one, they ship another one. After a while, they're going to be like, okay, what is this you shipping? And you know they have Eastern laws and then U.S. had laws, so you know they want to know who I am and all that, and then all of a sudden you gotta, you know, it's got its little tricks and knots, but that's not gonna stop me, man. That's a small thing, you know. So this little shakedown they're trying to do, you know, I'm gonna bypass all that. So that's not gonna stop the movement. We here, you see the boxes are beautiful, and we're gonna just keep it going, man. I got different, you know, and please, people, when you go, I need to listen for the community too, man. And like if you see, I have some different styles that I'm gonna do, meaning colors. And I would love to. Yeah, I get a lot of people asking me, "Hey, man, can you put the Green Bay Packers?" I said, "Man, I'm not licensed with the
yeah, right.
They have enough problems already with weed. I can guarantee you, they're not gonna license me to make a box.
I would tell them to buy a sticker and buy the box and then put it together themselves. I'll write you out instructions on how to put a sticker on the box if you like, but yeah, I'm not even trying to get caught up in copyright.
I appreciate that, though. I appreciate them reaching out and asking. You know, you got some friends. I'm a big sports fan too, but no, I'm definitely not. I know for a fact I will not be licensed by any other sports team to put any logo
now, eventually,
on my box.
Eventually, we see that all these sports athletes smoke weed. I mean, that's just a given. So eventually, I feel like maybe the different associations will not care and it'll be legalized. And then I could see a chance for some licensing happening. But until that happens, I'm pretty sure they would not be very happy about it, you know?
Nah, that's not gonna happen.
So
really, they just simply made with MDF boards inside, and you know, acrylic, as you can see, has the dividers and you know, nice simulated leather, wrapping them up in.
I like the blue one. The blue sapphire is really nice. If you're watching hotboxpodcast.com/live right now, you can see the order site here where it has all the different kinds. The nice black one, this brown one, a blue one, all really pretty, and they come in 2 sizes, 5x7 or 4x6. So definitely check that out. Herbboxx.com, HERBBOXX. I came across this article. Texas recently decided medical marijuana. So congratulations.
Well, no, really, I mean, you know, and for those that are really needing it, man, it is a big step. You know, I don't want to take away from it, but it is the lowest form of the the plant that he did approve, you know,
Right.
and it should have been a day of celebration for them, but he made it a point, and when I say he, I'm talking about our governor, and you know, he made it very clear, as long as he's governor, he will not approve any type of marijuana with THC. But you know, but that's cool. We're not going to focus on what he's not going to do. We're going to focus on those patients that really do need it. And,
right. And basically, the bill states that people that have epilepsy or other chronic diseases will have a chance. But the DFW normal rep, David Sloan, he said he didn't believe that this bill was going to help a single patient in the state of Texas because the bill requires doctors to prescribe this medication. And of course, doctors can't prescribe anything that doesn't have FDA approval. So that's, again, a drawback of the whole federal thing.
Exactly.
As far as the epilepsy thing, I can kind of appreciate that CBD strains do definitely help. There's 3 different kinds. There's the ones that are, you know, half and half, where they have pretty much, they'll have a little more CBD and a little less THC, but they will be, you know, pretty close. And then you have the one on the other end, which is just all CBD and very little trace amounts of THC in it. Like Charlotte's Web, ACDC is another one. There's a bunch coming out that have this kind of profile to it as far as the cannabinoids. But it does help. And I don't know, it seems like they're going to make it a real pain in the butt, as most states try to at first, as far as letting patients access the medicine. But it is, like you said, it's better than being, like, you know, not having anything at all, because it is another state that we can rack up on the count. That's like, here's how many we have. We're almost halfway there. Right.
And so we're going to keep on fighting. We're not going to cry what we don't have. Let's celebrate what we do have. And it's good for everybody, though. It's good for even Greg Abbott. I mean, thank you, you know, to him. I salute him for stepping out, because there's a lot of people that still, you know, I don't think they don't want to do it. I think they just don't know. You know, it's something that you don't know. You just foreign to it, you know, and you don't want to even deal with it. I mean, I can even say that for me, even not now doing this business. Like, I'm not really a big, you know, Instagram person, but now that I've got a business and doing this, I'm having to jump on and try to learn it.
You learn that stuff real quick, right?
I mean, you know, it's cool. I just don't spend my days doing videos, and you know, I got better shit to do.
When you can't, yeah,
like some videos and shit like. But you know, that's the young generation, and I'm not gonna knock it. I mean, it's just like, you know, like me and you talk. My love of hip hop. You know, I mean, I don't knock the young, you know, the young music that's coming in. You know, it's for the kids. I want to see them get it. You know, but I'm still a Gang Star and Wu-Tang and UGK.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Scarface, you know, Nas. Those are the foundations for me. But I don't knock, you know, the J. Cole's and the Big Crit and you know what I'm saying, Wale's. I don't knock them. I love to see what they're doing, and like I love to see like what you're doing right here with, you know, the podcast, because there's many out there, and you really reached out, man. I reached out to you, man, and for you to get back with me as soon as you did, man, I appreciate that, man. I really do, and that's the support, and that's just straight love, man. And I like it. That's what the community is built on, man. That's what
it is.
That work. Yeah. We're about that, and we're about growing and making it forward. You know what I mean? So everybody, man, get in where you fit in with this, man, with this movement. It's just because, listen, man, you know, the 420, and I don't want to talk on that really. The 420, man. That's one day. You know, when we're doing this 364 days a year, man. I mean, this is something that we live and we really live and take it true, man. And people have really sacrificed a lot, man. You getting jammed up by cops and you know, have to do all this, and you out here in the front battles. Like, I know you talked about the DFW norm, and salute to them. I've been to a couple of the rallies and whatnot. So there's really people out here on the front line. So if you're just sitting there and just getting high and just, you know, want to be about giggles, man, get out here and do something, you know. Especially all those young kids, man, that you're in college, you know, work for yourself. Like, this man has his own show and supporting and reviewing and companies. Now, work out there, work for yourself. You're going to get high anyway. You might as well, you know what I'm saying, get in and be about this community and be about, you know what I'm saying, better in this community and uplifting it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and it's pretty much the internet, right? Like before I was the Dare generation, you were probably a little bit before that. Like all people knew about weed was what they were told, what they were shown in the media. And it was all very scary. It was like, here's your brain on drugs kind of shit. Like really scared. I mean, designed to make people think a certain way. It's classic psyops stuff. Like we're going to release a bunch of media that's going to make the population think a certain way. And decades of that, like it's hard to go against that. And I feel like the government's kind of taking their time because they know the end is near. Like we are at the precipice of this happening, this re-legalization of cannabis. And I think they're trying to figure out how can they best profit. It's like a tech startup where they write up all their contracts so that the founders have an out. As soon as we get investment money, we're out. And that's kind of what this feels like as far as the government. They're trying to set this up in a way to where they have a huge payoff at the end and they're still the heroes to this problem that they themselves created. Like it's a completely crazy thing if you think about it. But they're gonna come in, save everyone, and be like, "Oh, weed's legal, but you have to pay us a whole bunch of money in order for it to be legal." And everyone's gonna be like, "Yay!" So that's why I think they're dragging their feet, is they're trying to figure out how to best maximize profits one last time, because this is taking a huge drain out of the prison system. This is taking a huge drain out of a bunch of other industries. And yeah, it's all getting funneled into this cannabis industry. And a lot of the people we've had on the show, it's not weed. Like they're not growers. They're not working in dab labs or anything. They're entrepreneurs like yourself. They're making a movie, or they're making a new kind of vape, or they're making a new stash box. Like it's all focused around that. And if you didn't have this industry to begin with, like, I don't know what we'd all be doing. I'd probably still be in Montana delivering water or something. You know, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, you had a guest on your show not too long ago, at Trees.Deliver, I believe.
Yeah, Trees.Delivery. They're in San Francisco.
Yeah. And I tried to reach out to that guy to listen to your show. That's what made me, I peeked in on him, and I was like, hey, I was trying to reach out to him. If he's listening, if y'all know him, tell him to get at me, because if you don't be delivering it, it needs to be in this herb box.
That's true. I know they're getting started to do their first beta test in San Francisco. So I'll definitely, after the show, I'll try and give you an intro and see if we can have you guys meet up.
Yeah. So I mean, like this little stuff like that. So you're right, man. It's our type of business is out here for it, and we just want to do it, because as soon as this herb box, and I hope the people stay with me and rock with me. You know, you don't see Gucci and Prada. They don't try to have themselves a container, you know. But you know, the real is here. The real is not going nowhere.
Exactly.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm right here, so I'm not going nowhere. So they can come, right? You know, they're not gonna knock me off my square. You know, matter of fact, I invite them off, because I know what we like, and we set the trend. So you're gonna come in, and it's not gonna be right. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be right. So we ready for it, man. I'm excited for just the growth of it. I'm coming up to the Cannabis Cup in Portland. I believe they moved the date too on me, so I need to check that out. Do you know by any chance?
No, not off the top of my head though. It sounds interesting. We'll definitely have to keep an eye on it.
I think it was July, but I don't know. I want to say it's the 1st of August or it's July. I'm not for sure. I know they moved the date, and I know, unfortunately, your state, Seattle, man, they canceled the Cannabis Cup, High Tide Cannabis Cup there in Seattle. They canceled it for September, man.
I wonder if it's something to do with Hemp Fest and Cannabis Cup, and the city was like, all right, you guys, one pot-related party per year. Only one pot. You mentioned
get up there. I was willing to get up there and get the Anthony's. Give me one of those nice salmon burgers, man. I love old Seattle.
You mentioned Canada earlier. There was an interesting article that came out about them just completely legalizing all forms of medical marijuana. I know there's this site, they do a hangout every week called Hash Church, and they're all Canadian, and they're big into like doing extractions and terps and all that fun stuff. So I'm sure they'll be very happy to see this. Basically now medical marijuana patients are able to consume it anyway, oil, is now permitted instead of before it was only dried marijuana. So this will open up a whole new industry.
The guy in Vancouver, he went to the Supreme Court. They jammed him up. The police jammed him up because he had flowers, and he said it was against his constitutional right that his medicine can only be done in one form. Yeah, I read that. The dude out of Vancouver. Yeah, salute to that dude, man, for taking that stand, man, and for all of us, man. Salute to that dude.
That's usually what it takes. Too. And a while ago, we talked about, this was quite a long time ago, there was a story about a gentleman that had some brain problems, and he was like not an aneurysm, but I forget what it was exactly, but he smoked medical cannabis for his, ailment. And something happened at work. I think it was the Walmart, and he ended up getting drug tested, and they fired him over it. So I think they took that one all the way up to federal court. And of course, federal law says, this is Schedule I substance. So anytime it gets escalated to federal court, you're not going to be able to win. But there's another court case, and this one's out of Denver that's coming out. And I think Monday, everyone's waiting for what the judge is going to say. It's in the Colorado Supreme Court, again, about an employee's right to use marijuana. So this is a gentleman by the name of Brandon Coates. He says he was improperly fired from his job at Dish Network back in 2010 after testing positive for cannabis. He's a quadriplegic who worked as a customer service rep for the company for many years. They say the lower courts have repeatedly ruled in Dish Network's favor, but last year, the Colorado Supreme Court agreed to hear his case. The decision would impact businesses across the state as they continue to employ not only medical marijuana users, but recreational users as well. I can kind of speak to this just locally, at least back in Montana. There was a time when I was younger that the Big Mountain, it was our ski snowboard resort there, they were going to start doing drug tests, and they soon found out that everyone that comes to work at a ski resort smokes weed. And if they did that, they would pretty much not be able to hire anybody. No one would go there. So they quickly didn't, they put a stop to that. But it is something that you do have to deal with, state to state. If you smoke weed and something happens at your job, you could completely not have been stoned. We know how long weed stays in our system for, at least a month. If you get a test, it's going to show up as positive, and then they could fire you. So this will be interesting to see what happens there in Colorado. You have any thoughts as far as?
Yeah, but the fact that my man was a paraplegic, and he's trying to work, man. Like, I think I'm not going to go out and speak for him, but I believe because he was working with a disability, they, I think a little bit they wanted to target him, but they ought to salute that man. He's wanting to try to still work. I mean, I was a teacher for 22 years, and I had to recently just retire, man, because of my health started deteriorating to the point that I was, matter of fact, I'm through eye surgery now. I have like retinitis pigmentosa, which is RP, or the retina for those who know, and so I have to consider myself, disabled or whatever. Something I don't see myself as that. I mean, we all have something, and we all go through something, and this is something that I'm tackling and taking on. But the fact that that guy was doing that, I mean, the company should salute that. This man he's trying to work.
In customer service, he's in customer service. Dish Network should be giving out all of their customer service reps free weed just to up their QA quality. I mean, come on, that's like the worst job ever, to be customer service on the phone. And he was totally doing it. Probably, I used to do tech support customer service, and I tell you, the days I didn't smoke weed, I was not very helpful. So you should,
Well, salute to those people that's doing the Dish Network customer service. Somebody got to do it, and I'm glad they're doing it. But I mean myself, I'm like you. It's not the best, but if you listen now and that's what you do, hey man, salute to you, and get yourself a Herb Boxx when you come home from work and relax.
I saw an interesting meme on Facebook. It was one of those. It was like 3 different pictures, and it was something about like a shout out to all the people that go to work high as fuck and get their shit done on point. And it was like showing all of these different industry workers that were, going to work and just getting their job done and doing it well, doing it better than people that have drinking problems, I would definitely say. So it's interesting.
You're going to find every individual is going to find themselves a strand that works for them. I mean, myself, I'm more sativa. I really don't like to smoke, you know what I'm saying? I'm more sativa, so I like the super lemon haze, you know what I'm saying? OG Kush, I'm more of a sativa. So once you find what your body, you know, can really perform to, it's really, it's good. You know what I mean? If you find, you know, so if you are a person that you don't really like sativa and you like, you know, Girl Scout cookies or whatnot, you know, whatever strain you like, and if it works for you, it's not really, it's enhanced. You know,
it is. I think too, there's something to be said about switching up the strains. We've been recently getting some strains analyzed up at a lab here, and each strain has its own terpene and cannabinoid profile. So I think if you stick with the same one, those receptors get, you know, full eventually. And if you don't switch up your strains, I think you definitely build up a tolerance quicker. And this isn't like scientific yet or anything. We're still kind of developing how we want to actually test this. But I think that the people that have a tolerance to smoking weed, like unless you just dab all the time, then you just pretty much need to stop. But if you're just smoking the same strain over and over, like try a different strain. There will be different terpenes in there that do different things in conjunction with the cannabinoids, which there will also be different cannabinoids. So you can have one terpene in particular it's called myrcene, and it has that mango smell to it. And if this is a potentiator of THC, so if you have a strain, the ones I came across were like Aliens on Moonshine, or AOTA was another one. They're very high in CBD, not very high in THC, but they have off the charts myrcene in it. So you still get stoned like it's a, you know, 15 or 20% THC bud, even though it's like 8 or 9%. Because of how much myrcene is in there. So you keep switching up between what you're smoking, you'll get a more full spectrum of the different cannabinoids and terpenes. And it makes for interesting, you know, that's where the different highs and feelings come from. And of course, that's going to be different person to person because our endocannabinoid systems are all different. But like you said, find one that works for you and then branch off from there, genetics wise.
So what do you think, Matt, right now? With the with the 4 states, with well, I had to say 5 because you gotta put I had a little bit of Northern Lights up there in Alaska. And I got to say, we overlooking them, man. Big up Alaska, salute to y'all over there, man. I fuck with the Northern Lights, but I want to ask you, what do you think out of the 5 states, man? With Colorado, Washington, California, Alaska, and Oregon. I mean, who do you think is running it? I mean, everybody's probably going to say right now Denver, but I'm gonna still probably tip my hat off to California.
I would say though, I don't think you can categorize it that way because it's growers, right? The growers that have been around for a long time, they have the name, they know what they're doing. States will hire them. Like you'll have a grower that is known for his OG Kush or whatever from, you know, somewhere in California, some San Fernando Valley guy going to Colorado and setting up a shop there for them and, you know, either running it or just giving his advice to him, I guess, as a consultant. So I don't know.
Yeah,
you see,
but you can still kind of tell though. You can still.
Well, that's environment, right?
That's to California for that. The women, weed, and weather.
Well, that's all environment, and environment like dictates what the different phenotypes will end up looking like within a certain gene type, which is really interesting because you can have OG Kush, that's, you know, ocean grown Kush from San Fernando Valley or whatever, and it looks completely different from an OG Kush that was grown in Colorado indoors or because of the altitude. Like all of that goes into play in how this evolves. It's really interesting to see.
Yeah. But I'm upset, but you know, but it's good, like you said, when you get it off into tasting different. I mean, states are starting to put their signature on certain strands, and you know it. Like that's why I said I definitely have to salute Alaska. They're definitely coming up because I slept on them, and I had somebody to give me some of that Northern Lights from up there, and I was definitely impressed. And I can't wait to get up to around that area of Oregon, Portland, and Washington, man. When I'm up there, man, I'm gonna hit you up, man, and check you out, man. You know,
we'll give you the whole tour. In Alaska, coming from Montana and being like snowboarding and snowmobiling, like I want to go to Alaska really bad. So I'll definitely have to get a chance to head up there and check it out. And yeah, the weed up there, from what I hear, is amazing. I actually just got some Northern Lights to review from one of the local farms.
Okay.
I mean, you know what you smoke. Everyone knows what they smoke. So I see pictures and everything from like the cups in all the different states. And I'd say a lot of it right now is extracts, like because that technology is so new and not everyone knows everything. It's funny to watch, especially on Instagram. You see this, all of the different extract artists and companies like showing off their best stuff. And that is more regionalized because of how the law is set up, right? Not everyone can have extracts in every state or whatever. So I think a lot of like the real new cutting edge stuff is happening there. And like, how do we take this plant that has all of this different stuff in it and only remove these things while still holding on to the terpenes that are quite volatile? Like it's a whole crazy thing. And it's interesting to see that. And the more it becomes legal, the more, we'll be able to figure that stuff out. Before, you couldn't even think about researching weed unless you were going to have a negative outcome. Like that's the only people that were getting funded, right? Like back in the day, you had to show that you were a weed hater and you were going to do some damn research and you were going to show everyone once and for all that weed is dangerous. And they do their studies and then it's not. And they're like, oh, well, I don't want to study weed anyway. But yeah,
hopefully it's getting back to really forming, man, and that's another thing. That's what it's so good about creating really some jobs here, because for years, man, the formers have they've been taking a hit. If it's not the weather, it's the economy, and so this is something that they could, because you have a lot of older formers that really know the soil and know how to really grow stuff. If we can get some of their knowledge, even in this game, man, that would even blow our heads off.
A lot of it is online. I mean, there's a lot of really good stores of it on the internet. IC Mag is a really good one. I just learned about that I started checking out. But having people from any state, being able to access that information, I think was really huge. One person in a place where it's legal does some research and figures something out, assuming they don't have to patent it to make the money back on the research. Like they can go online and be like, holy crap, you guys, check this out. And now, people in every state have that knowledge, and then we all build from it. So you see breakthroughs happen way, way faster now with this technology. It's really awesome. When I was in school, my student counselor never said, oh yeah, one day you could go work in the weed industry and work in a lab. So pay attention to chemistry and that kind of stuff. Like that wasn't even a thing. If I had known that, like I would have paid way more attention to organic chem and all that stuff. So I hope that makes, and you being a teacher, you can kind of speak to that. I hope some of this makes it into.
Let me say, I retired, man, December 23rd. So I don't want people to get your podcast and I was a teacher that's dealing with weed and smoking. Now I retired due to my health December 23rd, 2014.
Right.
And I still got love for it. But I definitely hear what you're saying, because but even go with a little deeper than that, if these governors were smart in the state of Idaho that grow potatoes and Indiana grow corn and Iowa, they got all those growers. You might as well grow, some cannabis or hemp, because, at the time, hemp, I mean, that's all it was used for everything. And we might as well bring that back,
DuPont wasn't very happy about that. They had I think a pretty decent sized role in some of that cannabis scare back in the day. They knew, they're like, if this stuff gets out, like people won't need our synthetics. They'll have, the stuff made from hemp.
Right. And even that, you're right, because they wanted to push that nylon, and that's what just making women have to wear stockings and that, you know, and
well, and cotton, man, just basic ass cotton. Like some of my favorite hoodies and shirts are just all hemp. Like it's so comfy. They're a little more expensive, but man, they're comfy.
Yeah, exactly, man. And you just think it would just be smarter, man. It just you would help just that stay alone, even if it's not just going to root, but just grow the plant, man.
I think not everyone has told them in states like that, in like Idaho, in the Dakotas, and Wyoming. I don't think they've realized that like this is a thing. And I think they still think that they can run on the platform and get elected on this like old prohibitionist attitude. It's like, hey, the rest of us, like, we're way past that, you guys. Come on, catch up, please.
Right. So exactly. And so you would think that it has to be a passing of the guard. So that means if anybody, and I don't, you know, listen, if you are a Republican or you are the libertarian or Democrat, but let's be smart. Let's be about business and be about smart and about really helping it, because it's a plant. We talking about a plant.
It's a plant.
You
when
know,
it comes down to it.
Stop drugs. I guarantee you that the state that you just came from, Montana, there's a bigger problem with meth there in Montana.
Oh yeah, and opiates, man, and the pill epidemic that Purdue Pharma has single-handedly just started off strong here in the country. Like that's so out of hand, and it's so dangerous, and it doesn't get half the amount of bullshit problems that they impose in like the cannabis industry. It's so crazy.
Right, you know, and then, you know, you gotta understand that. And for those you know, you smoke, I smoke, and I'll be honest with you, the edibles, you know, for all the edibles, salute to them. But I know as a smoker, like, look, I cannot eat this whole brownie. That would not be smart.
That's a different high. That's completely different.
People need to be a little bit smart about eating those brownies. I'm not saying do not eat them. Let me not say that.
No, we should definitely eat them. But maybe eat half.
You gotta slow yourself down. Don't eat the whole damn brownie.
Eat a half of one, and know that maybe one brownie, maybe its cannabinoids have been fully decarboxylated, which means it's gonna be way more potent than another brownie that was maybe only half decarbed or not even decarbed right or whatever. Like that stuff matters, and I think the more that you know we can have this research happening, the more it'll be common knowledge, and people will have I mean, all of the products obviously you get here in the market are completely labeled and all that. But I have a friend in Colorado he doesn't smoke at all. And he wanted to try this for his anxiety rather than taking benzos, like benzodiazepines. Those have pretty nasty withdrawals to them, and they just kind of knock you out. So he found some edibles at a place and he ate one. I told him, you know, start slow. And he's like, I don't feel anything. I'm like, all right, well, maybe eat another and make sure you're home so you're cool and everything. And he ate the whole thing and like never felt really anything from it. He got another, you know, some other edibles from a different shop, and he ate one and he's like, ooh, I feel this one. And it's like, yeah, there's definitely a difference. They could both say 10 milligrams, but if one was processed different or not processed properly, like you're gonna notice that. And
have you seen the show on NPR? I believe one of those food shows that they're starting to really do some gourmet cooking now with these edibles, man. So, I mean, that's what's so beautiful about the cannabis community, that we're stepping up, that we're really having foods more than just brownies. They're really fusing a lot of different things. I was just reading, matter of fact, they're going to start now in the liquor stores having soda infused with cannabis, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what Coca-Cola and Pepsi is about to do, but believe me, you. Now, stuff like that, I'm a little like, okay, like, let's be careful with this now.
Getting a little too mainstream for my taste.
Yeah. So, but people need to be careful about it, man. I don't want anybody overdosing on this stuff and not knowing what they're doing, and take it easy, man.
Well, and that's the cool thing. Even if they do, I mean, you're just going to fall asleep. You might get a little dizzy. It's not like it's going to kill you, as opposed to accidentally swallowing 4 oxys instead of just 1. You know, they're two totally different animals, and it's something that everyone has a system built for, whether we use it or not. You know, that's a different story. But
well, that's why they have to stay informed, and you gotta start reading like yourself, your review. You know, so anybody out there, if you know somebody, hey man, tell them to check out the podcast and check out my man's review, Matt Lee's review, and he's gonna steer you strong. He ain't gonna steer you wrong, and that's what we need to do is educate, because that's about raising the bar, man. We just gotta raise the bar, man.
We're doing that over on Stuff Stoners Like, actually, about dabs. We have I have access to a couple of extract scientists, so I threw it out there like, hey, try and stump my scientists here. Like, any questions about dabs, extracts, anything like that you can think of, like, send them in. And we got a bunch of questions, mainly about like dabs in general, and like how to, like, if it's too hot, how to know like what temperature, how to know if your dabs are good or not, if there's a lot of butane left in them, stuff like that. People don't know because it's so new. So we try and use that platform to help educate and be like, here, this is how hot you should do it. And you're coughing a bunch because you're getting it way too hot, or your material hasn't been purged properly, or something. You know, there's so many things. It's good to have the internet that we can just keep a running store of all of this, so we don't have to, you know, go back and start over. We can continue to build on it. So well, hey, Kenya, it's been awesome talking to you. Herbboxx.com, HERBBOXX. And we got a couple of them to give away. I've been kind of just showing them off here in the video. So there's going to be.
What's the cause of giving them away? What they have to do? I tell you what, let's make it. You know, we both are big hip hop heads. You know, so I tell you, for the first box, man. Are they calling in, or are they writing in to you, Matt?
No, it's just going to be a website contest thing. So we could have them call in if you want. I feel like if you make people do something that they're awkward doing, a lot of people on the internet don't like their voice being out there, really. So I kind of try and keep these things to like typing. But yeah.
Okay. Well, what do they have to type?
What we're gonna do once the article is published, showing the pictures and everything over on StuffStonersLike.com, in the comments we're gonna have them post what they would put in her box, and the most creative, the one that makes us laugh, the one that's chosen randomly, that'll be the winner. So look for that here.
And I'm gonna add to this, man. You always put what you would put in the box, but also, like I said, I'm a big hip hop head. What would you put in it, and what would you be listening to? What hip hop would you be listening to? You know what? Because that's kind of what
I like that.
Really do like this. You know
I like that.
You know what? Name each member of the Wu-Tang Clan, and the bonus, the honorable mention, the one Wu-Tang member that he is the part of the Wu-Tang, and you should know him, and he's definitely an honorable mention on that. So that would be the one. Name each member of the Wu-Tang Clan and the honorable mention with what you would put in the herb box. Boom, there you go, right there.
That's awesome. Kenya Brantley, thanks, man. It's been awesome.
Yo, man, thanks. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Kenya Brantley from Herbboxx.com. Of course, that article will be coming out soon over on StuffStonersLike.com. So check that out, and we'll have all of the contest stuff in there. Yeah, check us out. Hotboxpodcast.com. In the show notes there, we'll have links to all this stuff. So you can also watch the video after the fact on our YouTube account. So make sure you subscribe to that. Give us a review on iTunes, and we're on Stitcher. So got communities on Google+, Facebook page, and a Twitter account. And follow Instagram.com/thejamhole. That's mine. So we will catch you all later. Thanks for listening.